Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Wrestling Rant. Tonight was Monday, June 24th, 2013. And I'll be completely honest with you, I have no idea what city they were in tonight for the show. I tried to figure it out a couple of times. Normally they flash a little thing that'll say the town, but I didn't see it anywhere. Maybe I was distracted, I don't know, but I didn't see it. So I got no clue where in the hell they were. Doesn't really matter. The show opens with a recap of Punk's return, and then, of course, that segued into his match last week with Del Rio, which ended in countout, and then Brock came back and F5'd the bejesus out of Punk. And that little storyline is half of the big thing with this episode of the show. So, yeah. So anyways, they showed all of that. And after that recap, they show another recap of Mark Henry last week and his Oscar-winning performance, and again I'm doing air quotes. His tear-filled performance and his supposed retirement speech, and then slamming the fuck out of Cena. Yada yada, so they recapped those things. And then Daniel Bryan comes out. And he starts talking about how, let's see, last week on Raw, the match was stopped by the referee, or the doctor rather, and he didn't like that, of course, so they had the rematch on SmackDown, which he won by countout, which wasn't good enough for him. So he wants another match with Randy, and this will supposedly be the rubber match. And so we're going to do this. Randy comes out, and he doesn't really talk too much. He gets in the ring, and Bryan goes to say something, and Randy just grabs the mic out of his hand and says, "You know what, I'm tired of talking. It's time to fight." And so Bryan answers back by throwing punches, throwing elbows. They're getting ready to fight. And so the referee jumps in, and we've got a match going on. And, let's see, lots of aggression. I tried not to take as much notes as I normally do, so you're going to notice that, by the way. There's lots of aggression in the early part of the match, the first few seconds. They spill outside. Bryan gets thrown over the announce table. And the two guys are duking it out. The ref gets in the way and gets knocked down, and then has the damn bell rung. Match is over. Lasted about literally a minute. Double DQ, apparently. The more referees come out to break the two up. Apparently it's getting way out of hand. So I'm like, you really didn't expect it to be out of hand like this? These guys want to kill each other at this point. Like, seriously, you're not expecting this? Apparently, but whatever. The referees break it up, and they cut to commercial. When we come back, we're in the office again with Brad and Vicky. And, yeah, so they're talking, and Bryan comes in and says that he can't believe they had the match stopped and all this other crap, and he wants another match with Randy, and Vicky says, "Okay, fine, I'll give it to you." And yeah, so Bryan leaves, and then Vince pops up, and I don't really remember exactly what he said. Not that I really give a shit. I'm really tired of the McMahons butting in on the damn show. Seriously. They need to piss off. It's getting old. But essentially the storyline here is Vince comes up and says something, and then later on, Triple H is going to come up and say basically the opposite. And so they're still trying to fuck with each other. It's really boring, it's really lame, and I really don't care. So anyways, Vince says whatever the fuck, and then he leaves, and we cut back out to the ring, where Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow are already in the ring. And then Sheamus comes out. And as Sheamus is coming out, it's the commentators are talking, and they're saying, oh, this is going to be a tag match. And I'm like, okay, so who's Sheamus's partner? Christian's music hits. And out he comes, and I'm like, okay. I don't know why, so I really don't give a shit. Again, light notes, because I really don't give a damn anymore. The only note I have is, who gives a fuck? And then Sheamus wins with a brogue kick. He kicks the bejesus out of Cody here. And I actually remember the finish. Sandow was in the ring with Sheamus. And Sheamus had just got done doing his stupid clubbing thing on the ropes and everything. And then he went to lift Sandow onto his shoulders to do the white noise. But Sandow fought out of it, fell off of Sheamus' shoulders into his corner with Cody. Cody makes the blind tag, and as he's getting in, he kind of, it looks like he's tripping over the ropes getting into the ring, and then he's trying to get Sandow the hell out of the ring, and he kind of like shoves him out of the ring, and there was, apparently that was like this big momentary miscommunication. He turns around to face Sheamus, and eats a face full of brogue kick. Down he goes like a ton of bricks. Sheamus pins him. 1, 2, 3 match is fucking done. And thank God, because I don't give a flying fuck. See, this is the problem in the WWE right now. We have a lot of people that we have seen for way too damn long. We know their shtick, and it's old. As much as I like Christian, fuck, I thought he was pretty much done. Didn't think he was even going to come back. But, yeah, they brought him back. Whatever the fuck. Anyways, after the match, they hype up. We're going to have Jericho and Del Rio go at it again, since their match on SmackDown was broken up by Ziggler interfering. We're going to do it again later. They cut to commercial. They come back, and CM Punk is backstage. He's got headphones on, and I think he's got headphones on. He's got them with him, but he's there. And Vicky comes up, and she says, "You've got a match later on." And she's really trying hard just to get Punk's attention because he's not giving a fuck. He looks at her and he says, "Is Paul Heyman here yet?" And she says, "I don't know." And he looks at her and he says, "Is Brock Lesnar here yet?" She says, "I don't know." And then he says, "Well, then don't bother me if they're not here. You tell me if they show up." And that's basically it. And she says that Punk has a match later. I don't know if she said who, but we do find out, and it's really quite surprising, but we'll get to that. We cut back to the arena, and Caitlyn is already in the ring. And so is Oksana. And they just kind of recap the fact that Oksana has really stupidly been antagonizing Caitlyn over this whole thing between Caitlyn and AJ. And honestly, Oksana's stupid as hell to be antagonizing Caitlyn like this. Caitlyn's, let's see, chased her off the first time when she wound up smacking the referee. And then she chased her off once, and then beat the hell out of her, what was it? Was it SmackDown last week, or was it Raw last week, where she beat the hell out of her for it? Oh, shit. Yeah, so anyways, Oksana's really just coming off as an idiot, continuing to antagonize Caitlyn like this. I don't get it, but they're having a match. Again, light notes. I noticed that Layla is at ringside for Kaitlyn, and during the match, Kaitlyn's music plays. The match ain't over yet, it's not even close. Kaitlyn's music plays, and even Kaitlyn is like, what the fuck? She looks up towards the stage, and out comes AJ in this, like, essentially it looks like a fat suit, only it's more like a muscle suit, and she's got a blonde wig on. She's trying to look like Kaitlyn. And she's got a microphone, and again, she's just, fucking with her, trying to, whatever the hell. But anyways, so she's doing that, and in the meantime, Kaitlyn's not really distracted. She is able to hit the spear on Oksana and get the win. But after that, AJ's talking, and she's, basically what this equates to is she has Big E come out, and essentially they, I'm trying to think of how to say this. They redo the whole secret admirer reveal thing, only with AJ playing the part of Kaitlyn and all this shit. And AJ's making fun of Kaitlyn and all this shit. And in the meantime, Oksana has pissed off, and Layla is now in the ring with Kaitlyn, holding Kaitlyn back because Kaitlyn wants to run up the ramp and fucking kill AJ. But it's, like I said, it's just AJ It's almost like a play. Like, they're just acting out this play, this drama of the AJ and Kaitlyn thing, and it's... I don't know. I thought it was actually kind of funny, but I don't know. But anyways, they get done with that. AJ ends up being carried off in the arms of Big E, because they went to do the pose where Big E dipped Kaitlyn, but it was AJ, and he was dipping her, and then that's where the promo cut off, so he just kind of scoops her up off her feet and carries her to the back. Whatever the fuck. The stupid commentators intro another Wyatt family video, who gives a fuck, and after that they say, we're gonna show that blindsided video recap thing of Mark Henry and Cena. We're gonna show that again next. They cut to commercial, they come back, and they show it, and then Jericho comes out, and they cut to a commercial again. When they come back, Roberts, the ring announcer, introduces Ricardo, who makes fun of the crowd. And now that I think about it, he said that the crowd was somewhere in South Carolina, I think. So, at least I narrowed it down to the state. I don't think I got the city, but whatever. Ricardo comes out and he's making fun of him. He's like, oh, you donder Southerners there, making fun of the Southerners. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. So, he makes fun of him, and then he introduces Del Rio, who comes out. The fans don't give a fuck. No reaction again. Del Rio's also wearing his black trunks now. And that's something he did all the time when he was a heel. So, wink, wink, nudge, nudge there. They also used this time to announce that Ziggler and Del Rio is going to happen for the world title at Money in the Bank. So we're getting the rematch, finally. So Del Rio's in the ring and Jericho's in the ring, and they start having their match, and once again I have to say, who gives a fuck? Again. They cut to a commercial at one point, they come back, Del Rio's in control, and he's dominating the whole match, essentially. Jericho goes for the code breaker, but Del Rio counters it. Jericho comes back and goes for the walls of Jericho, but Del Rio counters that again. Jericho's able to get Del Rio down for the lion salt, but Del Rio gets the knees up and counters it. Del Rio goes for the arm breaker, but it gets countered. Jericho goes for... Okay, Jericho locks in the walls of Jericho. Ricardo jumps in the ring and hits Jericho in the back with that stupid bucket that he's been carrying around. And of course, this causes a DQ. So Ricardo's kind of whacking Jericho with the bucket, and then out of nowhere comes Ziggler, who just pounces on Del Rio, of course, and he's beating the fuck out of him. During that, Jericho hits the code breaker on Ricardo, and Ziggler hits the zigzag on Del Rio. And then Ziggler and Jericho kind of come face to face because, of course, the whole thing on Friday where Ziggler broke up the match and caused Jericho to get disqualified. And then Ziggler wound up eating a code breaker for it, which was still a dick move in my opinion. But anyways, Jericho goes to leave, and Ziggler hits the fucking zigzag on him. And I laughed my ass off, because I'm like, well, two can play at that game, you frickin' bitch. So Jericho gets hit with the zigzag. Ziggler he was hot, like, pissed. I mean, of course he's still pissed about Del Rio stealing the frickin' title. But he was pissed, you know. Hotter than a $2 pistol, you know, I think is the old expression. So, he's been like that for the last couple of weeks because of, you know, Del Rio again stealing the title. Oops.
Your fame has grown.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so anyways, but that came and went. Ziggler got his payback on Jericho for giving him the code breaker last week, the fucking dick. We cut backstage once again to the office where Brad and Vicky are once again, and like I said earlier, Triple H comes in and basically undermines what Vince said earlier. I don't even remember what the hell it was, and I don't give a rat's ass. They cut to commercial break. They come back. Jerry Lawler is in the ring with Brad and Vicky, and they're talking about the cover of the new WWE 2K14 game. Yes. Since THQ went bankrupt, they are not the publishers on the video games anymore. So, the WWE 13 game that we got last year, it was re-released by 2K Games and whatever the fuck, and I don't really give a shit. But anyways, they're going over this thing, and they're talking about there's going to be a contest to design a cover for the game. But here's the kick in the nuts. Whoever wins, it doesn't matter because the winner of the contest, the design is going on the underside of the cover. So you'd have to open the box and pull the fucking cover out to see it. So it's pointless. And then Vicky says she designed a cover for the game, and they show it up on the Titantron, and it's the cover with Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H. Just kissing ass. And then Brad says he designed his own cover, and he has it shown up on the Titantron, and it's... who the hell was it? It was Punk and Ziggler, I think, and himself in the middle. So Punk, Ziggler, and Maddox in the middle. And I'm like, well, that's just fucking stupid. And then Lawler kind of cuts them both off, and he says, oh, well, we have the real cover. And Pyro goes off above the ring, and the stupid cover unfolds out of the rafters, and The Rock is on the cover. Yes, Mr. Part-Time, Mr. I'm fucking filming movies in Hollywood because I don't give a rat's ass about the WWE right now. I'm really sick of this shit. He's never here. We haven't seen his ass since WrestleMania. Why should he be on the damn cover? He's pretty much retired. Just let him go away. Anyways, we cut backstage, and there's Ryback. And my first thought was, you're not dead? Because he was pretty much killed off and buried in that ambulance match. But whatever, apparently he's back. They cut to commercial. They come back, and Ryback comes out. He doesn't get his pyro on the stage. He doesn't do his normal shtick. No ambulance this time, of course. He gets in the ring. He still gets his pyro while he's in the ring, though. And I'm like, okay, so who's he facing? Who are they going to feed to him to try to fix the damage that they did by having him get buried by Cena? Out comes the Great Khali, and I'm like, oh great, we get a Hoss match. And I'll be honest, I didn't even watch the match. I went into the other room. Didn't really give a fuck, but I came back just in time to see Ryback pick up Khali for the shell shock, and he marched around, and then he marched around again, which is new. He nails the shell shock, he gets the win, whoop-de-fucking-do. And they say that up next we're going to do the blindsided thing with Mark Henry and Cena. Again. They cut to a commercial. They come back, and Cena comes out. And he talks, and he goes over the whole stupid thing. And his promo sucked just like it always does. So, whatever. I can't even remember anything specific that Cena said. But it's already been announced that they're going against each other at Money in the Bank, so whoop-de-fucking-do. Oh wait, actually no. This is exactly when they announce it. Before Cena talks, as he's coming out, I think, they come up and show that Henry and Cena, I think Vicky made the match. They will be going at it at Money in the Bank for the title. I don't know why. Mark hasn't done jack shit to actually earn a fucking title match. They're just giving him one. It's just like how Rock got his title shot against CM Punk. He just comes back, says, I want a title shot, and he gets it just by virtue of asking. Didn't do anything to earn it. Didn't, whatever the fuck. Who cares? Doesn't matter. I'm not giving a fuck at this point. After Cena's big goddamn promo and speech, which wasted a whole lot of goddamn time, they play a new RVD video package, because he's coming back. And I don't give a fuck. They say that up next we're going to have a triple threat tag team match for the #1 contendership to the tag team titles. And out comes Tons of Funk with the Funkadactyls. And already I'm face-palming because I know this can't go anywhere good. They cut to commercial. We come back. 3MB is already in the ring. And I'm like, okay. Why are they even getting a shot at a title match? They're complete jobbers, complete jokes. Why did they get a shot? Whatever. And then out come the Usos, who also ain't worth a jack shit. So, whatever. So the Usos come out, and whatever the fuck, so we start having our match. And again, I'm not giving a fuck about this, because I don't give a damn about any of the teams, or any of the people even involved in these teams, aside from Drew McIntyre and 3MB. And it's actually him and Jinder. So Slater's sitting this one out. I guess they figure since Slater's had enough singles matches over the last couple of weeks, he's going to sit this one out, and we're going to let Drew and Jinder handle this one. Doesn't matter. The Usos hit their big rip-off of their, not even their fucking father's move. They hit the big one of them hits the Superfly Splash on, hits it on Tensai. And gets the win. So the Usos are now the #1 contenders to the tag titles. And so the Shield music hits, because of course, they're the tag team champions. And they come down through the crowd, and they're about halfway down the stairs, and it's basically just like a stare down. And my only thought is, well, the Usos and Roman Reigns are actually related. I believe they're cousins. So, Family Feud. Who gives a shit, though? They cut backstage where Paul Heyman is walking through one of the hallways. Apparently he just showed up. And up next, we're gonna yada yada and whatever the fuck they cut to commercial. They come back and Heyman comes out to the ring and talks. And he says basically, people have been asking me what the fuck with Brock and Punk last week. And I've been avoiding the question, which is something I don't normally do. And he says, I don't want to discuss this except in person with Punk. So we're going to do that right here, right now. And he essentially says, Punk, come on out and let's talk about this. So Punk comes out, and he's talking, and he goes over a very long history of going all the way back to 2005 when Punk first came in to, when he first got signed to the WWE. This was after he left Ring of Honor, and they stuck him down in OVW, which was their developmental territory at the time. And he brings up this whole thing. He doesn't mention OVW by name because it's actually now owned by TNA. Or not necessarily owned, but affiliated with TNA. But he's going on this whole thing. Paul Heyman was the only one that believed in me. All the McMahons, because Heyman was apparently running OVW, which he wasn't, by the way. He was working down there, but he didn't run the place, I don't think. Anyways, he was saying that Paul was getting phone calls all the time from the McMahons and John Laurinaitis to fire Punk, to let him go. He's not worth anything, whatever the fuck. Just going over this very long-winded history of their friendship and explaining, in essence, why Punk is a Paul Heyman guy. So he looks at Paul and he says he wants the truth. If Heyman was involved with Brock attacking him last week, if Paul sicked Brock on him last week for not wanting him at ringside anymore, or if, Brock was just acting on his own. And so Heyman says, the truth is, I had nothing to do with Brock last week. I didn't tell him to do it. I didn't ask him to do it. But essentially what he ends up saying is Punk brought it on himself by... There was something that Punk said in one of his promos. It was probably a couple of weeks ago. But Punk said something to the effect of Brock needed Heyman. But Punk doesn't really need Heyman. That's why Punk is not one of Heyman's clients. They're just friends. But he said that Brock needed Heyman. And in saying that, he insulted Brock, and that pissed Brock off. And apparently that is why Brock did what he did. Whatever. I don't really care. But a lot of talking, and Punk essentially believes what Heyman says, and Punk says he's sorry he doubted him. And so yeah, they get done with their touchy-feely moment, they hug, and then the Primetime Players music hits, and I'm thinking, okay, who the hell are the Primetime Players going against? And then I hear one of the commentators say, Punk has a match against Darren Young. And I'm like, why? Darren Young is a fucking schmuck, and Punk is a bona fide main eventer. Why in the hell is a main eventer going against such a lower card schlub? Seriously. I have no idea why this match happened, other than to get across the point, which we will come to, But Young comes out with Titus. They cut to commercial. We come back, and the match starts. For some stupid reason, this match is not over like that. Even though Punk should be able to own Young in a matter of seconds, let alone minutes, this match goes on for several minutes, and it's surprisingly back and forth, with each of them getting offense. I really don't know why. But Punk goes for the GTS. Young is able to get out of it. Again, I don't know why. He's nowhere near being on the level to be worthy of getting out of anybody's finisher. But he gets out of it, and he hits his finisher on Punk, which is this big... He gets him up Samoan drop style, and then drops him forward, double knee gut buster. And Caitlyn was using this move too, so... whatever the fuck. He goes for the pin, only gets a 2 count. Of course, Punk's not going to lose to some jobber like fucking Darren Young. But shortly after that, Punk gets the Anaconda Vice locked in on Young, and Young taps out immediately. I mean fucking immediately. As soon as he gets it locked in and starts wrenching on it, he's tapping out like a bitch. Of course, because he is a bitch, and this match never should have fucking happened in the first place. But whatever. Punk wins, as he should have. And then Titus jumps in the ring and attacks Punk. And I'm like, okay. Young gets up, and he starts joining in, so it's a beatdown. And then Curtis Axel's music hits, and out he comes to make the save to help Punk. And together they chase off the primetime players, and you see Heyman's there as well, and they're kind of talking off microphone. And he says, let's talk later, let's get to the back, whatever the fuck. They cut back to the office again, with Brad and Vicky. And they're arguing some more, whatever the fuck. Stephanie comes in. And of course, this same stupid shit, you know, the whole McMahon drama. And I think the gist of this one is, you know, in all the commotion and craziness of the match of the night so far, Vicky has failed to announce the participants in the Raw Money in the Bank match at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And so Stephanie says, since it looks like you're so busy, I'll do it. So after that, they cut back to the arena and they say, we're going to do fan voting, more app voting bullshit for the match later on between Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, and we're going to let the fans vote on the stipulation for the match. You know, because we haven't done that before. Oh, wait. But anyways, they say again that's going to be later on. They cut to a commercial. They come back, and the Bellas, who we haven't seen in a while, are at ringside, and they're handing out copies of the new issue of the WWE magazine, which has like a centerfold of them. And the only thing I really noticed about this is the Bellas are both wearing these like low-cut dresses, and I'm like, well, you can really tell which one got the boob job. Because apparently the other one didn't bother stuffing her bra this time. Anyways, during that, or I guess after that, Stephanie's music hits. She comes out on the stage and she announces the Money in the Bank participants. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Christian, Kane, and RVD. So there's your Raw Money in the Bank. And I really hope RVD isn't going to win. Because... seriously? People even care that he's coming back? He phoned it in while he was at TNA. And he's never been all that great at all anyways. He's a stoner jackass. Just like Jeff Hardy. And just like Jeff Hardy, he can eat a dick and go fuck himself. So, whatever the fuck. After Stephanie gets done announcing the Money in the Bank participants, they cut back to Brad and Vicky again in the office again. This is really getting old. And what makes it even worse is Vicky's annoying goddamn voice, which is shrill as all fucking hell, and it's like nails on a damn chalkboard. And trust me, that shit got old. She was yelling a shitload during the thing earlier with the stupid cover of the WWE game. It got fucking old. Quick. I'm sick of this bitch. At this point, I'm like, can we please get rid of her and just let Brad be the fucking general manager of Raw? Please? I can't stand Vicky's voice anymore. It's shrill as all goddamn hell, and it makes me want to rip my own dick off. Stop. Fucking stop with this bitch. I understand when Eddie died, you still wanted to pay his family. Okay, fine. Let Vicky be a seamstress. Or a makeup artist backstage or some shit. Do we need to have her be an on-screen personality? She has no charisma. Even if the voice that she does is put on, it's still annoying as all goddamn hell. She's not a fucking heel. She doesn't get heel heat. She gets, I want to rip your fucking throat out heat. That's what it is. It's not heel heat, it's go the hell away heat. People are sick of seeing her. They don't want to see her anymore. It's annoying. I want to rip the bitch's throat out. Seriously. Get her off TV. Seriously. Anyways, Brad and Vicky are in the office. Ryback comes up. And again, I'm like, oh, you're still not dead? Whatever the fuck. He says, did you see how fast I beat up Kali? I'm like, yeah, whoop-de-doo. Heath Slater beat Kali the other week. Do you want a cookie, Ryback? Oh, wait, you probably do, because you're always fucking hungry, you joke. You're dead after losing to Cena. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. Jericho comes up, too. And he's bitching about whatever. And Jericho and Ryback go back and forth, whatever the fuck. Vicky says, shut the hell up, and says, you know what? You two at Money in the Bank. So essentially that's going to be like a number one contenders match because both of them want a shot at the world title or something. Because Jericho was pissed that Ziggler attacked him and whatever the fuck. And I'm like, Jericho, you bitch, you attacked Ziggler first, unprovoked. It's your own damn fault. You want to have Ziggler cost you your career again? I'd like to see that. And this time, for good. Eat a dick. Go back on tour with your band. Okay? Anyway, so she announced that, blah, blah, blah. They cut backstage. Henry in a suit walking back through one of the hallways. He's getting ready to come out. Commercial break again. We come back, and we're backstage with Heyman and Punk, and they're talking, and Punk's, explaining why he had Axel come out and help Punk. And I mean, it's not like there was really any explaining. It was 2-on-1, and this is essentially what Heyman says. It's 2-on-1. I was just trying to help. Whatever the fuck. Again, they talk about the fan voting thing for Bryan and Randy's match later. Whatever. Henry comes out and talks. He's basically rebutting what Cena said earlier. Don't give a shit. They show another Wyatt family video again. I don't give a shit, because this guy's a piece of shit. He's not going to fucking last, and he's going to be gone within a couple of months. He had a shot already, and it didn't work. His brother had a shot already, and it didn't work. They both wound up back on NXT, where they belong. They don't even belong in the fucking company, to be honest. Anyways, after the Wyatt family video, they cut to another fucking commercial. When they come back, Lawler's in the ring, and he's going over the fan vote. I'm trying to remember all the choices. I think one was... No count. One was a lumberjack match. One was a street fight. And the other one was... no count out or no DQ or something. But anyway, street fight ends up winning. So Bryan comes out, and Orton comes out, and they're having their street fight. And this, by the way, is the main event, so we're in the home stretch, and thank fucking God, because I'm sick to death of this shit. Again, brief cliff notes, because I'm really getting tired of this shit. Early in the match, Bryan goes for a suicide dive, or he goes for his suicide dive like he normally does, and Randy had already grabbed a chair. And as Bryan's diving out of the ring, Randy cracks him in the face with the chair. Shortly after that, they cut to a commercial again. And I'm really getting sick of all these goddamn commercials, too. After the break, Orton gets a table and puts it in the corner, or puts it in the ring. They fight for a little bit before he can actually set it up. He sets it up in the corner. And... oh, yeah. I think Randy was going for a superplex out of the corner. A different corner from the one the table's in. But he goes for a superplex. Bryan fights him off. And he goes for his big front missile drop kick. No. That happens later. Randy was in one corner, and Bryan came screaming across the ring to do the dropkick in the corner like he does. But as he comes running across, Randy picks up the chair, throws it in Bryan's face. So that's what that was. Apparently, during the commercial break, somebody set up another table on the outside of the ring. And Randy winds up on the apron, and he's trying to suplex Bryan out of the ring through the table. But Bryan fights him off, drop kicks him once, backs up a bit, comes screaming, drop kicks him again. And Randy's kind of teetering on the apron, but he's not falling off. Bryan runs across the ring, hits the ropes, comes back, slides in between Randy's legs out to the outside of the ring, and then grabs Randy and power bombs him through the table. He rolls him back in the ring, only gets a 2 count, and then Bryan gets a kendo stick out from under the ring, starts using it. Oh yeah, and this was an interesting spot. He's got the kendo stick in his right hand, and he's got Randy down on his knees. He whacks Randy across the back with the kendo stick, and then with his left leg, kicks Randy in the chest. And he starts going back and forth like that. Kendo stick kick, going back and forth like that. I think he hit the big roundhouse kick to the head. Or no, I think Randy ducked that. Caught Bryan with that exploder suplex he's been doing lately. And he does it towards the corner the table is set up in. And I'm guessing it was supposed to go through more of the table, but they only broke off a tiny little bit of it. I'm like, well, you fucked that up. You didn't throw him far enough. Yeah, so anyways, after that is when they go for the superplex thing. Bryan blocks it, fights Randy off, and he goes for that big front missile drop kick again, but he's coming down. Randy catches him into a power bomb. And I remember it was a similar spot like that broke Cena's neck. It was that match against Batista. Whatever the fuck. But anyways, after the power bomb, some shit happens, and Bryan gets the no lock in on Randy. Randy is able to, because this is a street fight, there's no rope breaks. So Randy reaches over and grabs the kendo stick, which is laying on the mat. He grabs it and he starts whacking Bryan with it to get him to break the hold. He breaks the hold, and Randy keeps wailing on him with the fucking kendo stick. And he whacks him all the way over onto the apron. And he hits the rope-hung DDT. And then Bryan is able to get up and use the stick. He hits Randy with it a couple of times. He gets Randy back down into the no-lock. And Randy reaches for the stick again. And this time, he goes to hit Bryan with it, and Bryan grabs it, he grabs both ends of the stick, and he's using it to wrench the no-lock on Randy's face. So it's a stick-assisted no-lock. And Orton has to tap out to this because he can't fucking get out of it, and Bryan's using the stick, so he's got no way to break the hold. So Randy has to tap out. Bryan wins. He's happy as hell. He's finally supposedly proven that he's not the weak link. Was there really ever any doubt? Guy's probably one of the best damn wrestlers they have in the company. Of course he's not the weak link in anything. But whatever. Bryan's celebrating. He's yes, yes, yes. And they move the camera over to Randy, who's finally got up, and I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna RKO Bryan out of nowhere? No. Bryan turns around and looks at him, and Randy has to hold his hand out, and they shake hands. And Randy leaves. Bryan continues to celebrate, and that's how the show ends. So Randy's not turning heel, at least not right now. Something tells me they might end up saving that for the Money in the Bank match. Something tells me something is going to be involved where Randy and Bryan both are going to essentially screw each other out of the Money in the Bank match. And one of them may end up turning heel in the process. I don't know or fucking care. I'm so apathetic at this point, man. It's really getting old. But, yeah. We've got a whole lot of horse shit announced for Money in the Bank, including Rob Van Stoner's return. Nobody fucking should care. I'm sure a lot of people do, because nostalgia goggles and all this other shit. People gave a fuck about Henry retiring. Why? I really don't understand why anybody ever gave a fuck about Mark Henry. The guy is a fat pantload who ain't worth shit. He's got no charisma. And he's nothing but a hoss in the ring. Seriously, people. We can do better than this. We can do a lot better. Yeah, but anyways. So don't really understand why anybody gave a fuck about Mark Henry. I don't really understand why anybody cared about, well, really anything, honestly. I don't know. I'm getting just really apathetic at this point. The WWE just ain't really doing it. They're not using their talent. There's so many young guys they could be using. And they're just not using them. They don't care. We've got all these young guys, but no, we don't care. We don't care about pushing our young talent. We don't care about making any new stars. Cena's still working for us. He's all we need, apparently. So, I don't know. I guess I'm just bitter with, maybe I'm kind of jaded. I've been watching this crap for a long time, and It's getting old. Cena bores me to death. The guy is a fucking hack with no fucking charisma. And I'm sure most of the people, at least, who actually watch this show would agree with me. I don't know if the stupid kids or the screaming hormonal girlies would agree with me. Of course not. Ooh, look at Cena and his roid muscles. That's all they care about. And then the kids, oh, he's such a hero. And he's so inspirational. You know, stand up to your bullies and, you know, be a star and all that crap. You know what, it's great, Cena, that you want to do all these Make-A-Wish things, and that's all well and good, but you're still a terrible wrestler. And you still cut some of the worst fucking promos. Some of the most boring, monotonous, just atrocious promos that do nothing but waste time. When there is a locker room full of young talent who have so much more charisma and have so much more ring skill. And they could do these Make-A-Wish things too. And I'm sure some of them do. So honestly, Cena, you're nothing special. You never were anything special. It's looking like Mark Henry's going to get a shot at the title at Money in the Bank. Well, he is. I don't know why he thinks he's going to win. If he honestly thinks the McMahons are going to let anybody beat their Superman, their poster child, their freaking golden boy. If they think anybody is going to beat him for that ugly WWE title belt. And honestly, I didn't think the belt was so bad at first. But then Cena had to put his ugly ass side plates on it. Can you just leave the frickin' side plates the way they were supposed to be? Yeah, and The Rock's ugly-ass Brahma Bull ones weren't any better. Could you just leave the regular WWE logo side plates on there and just put a fucking nameplate on the centerpiece? You designed this new belt. You could have just brought back one of the old belts, like the Undisputed belt. That one was beautiful. And it did not last anywhere near as long as it should have. Nope, we get rid of it because there's no Undisputed title anymore. When it was the Undisputed title, and then it was just the WWE title. So, whatever. They want to be stupid and not have nice-looking belts. No, we can't have nice things. Whatever. I'm going on and on a rant, but, you know, then again, that is the point of the show. Raw was not all that good. We didn't really get that many good matches at all tonight, I don't think. I got a laugh out of AJ making fun of Caitlyn. I don't know why, though. I like both of them, so it's honestly nothing personal for either one. I like both of them. They're both beautiful ladies. AJ's cute as fuck. I hate that AJ's a heel, though. I don't want to boo her. But I don't have any problem with AJ or Caitlyn. Their in-ring work, I think both of them are... Those two are probably in the top 3 or 4 of the best divas currently in the WWE right now. Or at least on the main roster. You know. I'm waiting for Paige to come up from NXT. She just won the new NXT Divas title. And if you've seen the belt, it looks a hell of a lot better than the WWE Divas belt. But, whatever. Oh yeah, and by the way, Bo Dallas also somehow managed to beat Big E Langston for the NXT title. Don't know how in the fuck that happened. I haven't seen that episode. I was gonna include the episode of NXT with Paige winning the Divas title. I was gonna do that with SmackDown last week, but then I figured, nah. So, anyways, So, yeah, that was Raw. Wasn't really that good. We still have 2 or 3 more weeks of this shit to slog through until the Money in the Bank pay-per-view when Rob Van Dumbass comes back to smoke a fat bowl all over everybody. They're probably going to just use him to bury everybody else in the fucking match, and it's going to suck. He better not win that Money in the Bank match. He really better not. I don't know why they would even bring him back. He's past his prime already anyways, and he's already shown himself to not be very loyal because he fucking went to TNA. Why would you even want to bring him back? I don't see them clamoring to bring back Hogan or Jeff Hardy or any of the other people who jumped ship to TNA. Why in the fuck would they want to bring back RVD? I'm guessing what it was is RVD's contract with TNA expired, and I don't know if they wanted him back or not, but I think Rob probably called up Vince and was like, "Hey Vince, can I come back?" And they're like, "Sure, we'll make a big hype out of it, and we'll continue to not bother mentioning TNA because TNA's fucking Bush League still." Yeah. By the way, anybody who might be hopeful of me starting to review TNA anytime soon, I wouldn't get your hopes up for that. Because from what I've seen, or what I've heard rather lately from TNA, they still ain't doing anything worthwhile. The Aces and Eights thing is still going on. Whoop-de shit. There's already internal conflict within the Aces and Eights, so they're already fighting amongst themselves like jackasses. So they're already fucking it up. But anyways, I've gone on long enough. That was the Wrestling Rant for Raw from June 24th, 2013. That's it. Thank you for joining us once again if you're still here. I'm sorry, I tend to bitch sometimes, but it's just getting really old at this point. I want to see some new people. Seriously. We've got plenty of young talent. They never use them, aside from Superstars or Main Event, and I don't watch either one of those, because neither one of them matters. There's no storylines on those shows. There's no titles, really. They just have matches just for the sake of having matches. And it's a waste of good talent. They need to do something. And they need to do it damn quick. So anyways, that's been the Wrestling Rant. We will see you probably Saturday whenever I get around to watching SmackDown. And we will see you then for the next episode. So thank you for joining us. And we will see you later.